Coug Radio online at cougradio.com or on our new Radio FX app. The following program contains explicit material. Listener discretion is advised.
Ooh. Oh.
Hi guys, welcome to Creepin It Real, a radio hour dedicated to the weird and wacky history of Washington and the greater Pacific Northwest. We're just going to jump right in and get this party started. So, I'm Emily.
I'm Gabe.
And I'm Josh.
So, yeah, we have a new guest today.
Special guest.
Yeah. Hello. Hello. I'm happy to be here. Very, very excited. I've always wanted to be on a podcast, so this is great.
Dream come true for you.
Dream come true, for sure. Yeah.
So, since, our viewers don't really know you, do you want to give us a little introduction?
Sure. Yeah, so I'm not a WSU student, but I work at middle school. I'm a PE teacher. I work with kids who are 5th through 8th grade. I coach basketball. I like to play music. Love to hang with my friends. And 26 years young. Single.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know. Is that too much?
No, that's
Is that
good.
kind of weird? Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much me in a nutshell. Love spooky stuff, so this podcast is right up my alley.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And we've talked about you a lot on this podcast.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I feel like it's only...
I'm the jerk that a couple weeks ago, I'm the jerk that played the mean trick with the fake ghost picture. That's me. I'm the jerk.
So we have a celebrity, actually, here in the city as well.
Yeah, you're a pretty big deal here.
All right. Thank you. Yes, thank you. Well, happy to be here. So, let's do this.
Great.
So, how was your week, Gabe? How's your week?
It was good. I took a test. We both
Me
took
too.
a test.
Yeah, we had
in
that
the same
class
class.
together.
Yeah.
What class?
Art history.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Not feeling that confident, but...
Yeah, it's spooky how I feel about how I did.
Yeah.
So anything else happen other than a test? Anything else happen this week?
No. Not really.
I can go.
Yes.
Or is it your turn, Emily?
No, I'm relating to the test. So yeah, tell me about your incident.
Oh, my incident. Oh. Okay, so the other night I went to the store to pick up some groceries, and I went to Safeway. Are we allowed to endorse here? Do I need to bleep that? Okay, too late. Sorry. Shout out Safeway. And I got the bags. I double bagged my groceries into one bag because it was kind of heavy. And so I'm sitting in my car, pull into my in my garage, and I get ready to get out, and I grab the bag and pull it like across my body as I'm stepping out of the car, and both bags have a complete split down the middle, and all my groceries fell on the ground, and my very special $3 beverage that I rely on, called Focus Aid, it burst and got all over my garage floor. I had to get out a pressure washer and pressure wash it because it's sticky, and it was $3.
Wow.
I'm suing. Yeah.
So how'd you make it to the car from Safeway?
This is where I'm bamboozled. I do not know because it's paranormal activity. Maybe.
I think we know what a next week episode is going to be.
Yeah.
Josh's incident Safeway.
Yeah. So
tune in next week.
Pretty upset. Gonna definitely check my grocery bags from now on, and maybe even use reusable cloth ones.
Wow.
So
Thank
that would be
you.
the responsible thing to do. But other than that incident, it's been parent-teacher conference week, which is so fun.
Exciting.
It's great to meet the parents. Great to, not like the movie, but it's great to meet the parents. And I don't know, I like it. I feel a lot more confident this year. It's second year teaching. I feel a lot more confident with how I can interact with the parents and actually tell them if their kid is actually doing really bad in my class. Whereas last year I'd be like, oh, they're fine. They're great. This year I'm...
Wait, so this is your second year?
Second year teaching, yeah. So fifth year or sixth year overall, like working in a school, but second year as a actual certificated teacher.
Ooh.
So, yeah.
Cool.
Wait, I have a question.
Sure.
So what would you say to someone who's thinking about being a gym teacher?
A gym teacher?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Get ready to have your space taken all the time. Everyone wants the gym. But it is...
Oh, I thought you meant, like, personal space for a
Oh,
second.
that too.
Okay.
Kids really, they don't have a sense of, like, personal bubble. We actually legit have a line on the gym floor that we stand behind that the kids can't cross. Because we literally don't want them, like, because, I don't know, like, I need some space. So,
Right.
And we have 60 of them at a time in our gym.
Oh.
So there's a lot of stuff going on. We want some space. So I would say get ready to have your personal space invaded, your classroom space. It's the most fun job, though, ever. It's what I've always wanted to do. It's super, super fun. So I would say go for it. And you get paid the same as other teachers, which is completely sounds unbelievable to me because you do way less grading. There's different types of things that are hard about it, but overall, it's amazing. It's the best job ever. I probably will never quit.
That
Ever.
was going to be
That's
my
great.
next question.
Will I ever quit? No.
No, what if you had any other future plans?
Future plans? Thought about being a principal, but they just have too, like, I don't know, not enough student interaction. It's more like parent interaction and negative interactions with discipline and stuff. I like keeping it positive, so yeah.
Nice.
That's good.
Yeah. Good
So,
question.
so for today, our topic is Fort Vancouver. Have you guys been?
I have.
Have I ever?
I've been twice. Once in 3rd grade,
Twice.
and then another time,
Yeah.
like 10 years later.
I also went in 3rd grade too.
Nice.
You know, I feel like I probably went, when I was a kid. I don't remember. You know where they have, like...
Mm-hmm.
Did you do like the
Tours.
fur trade thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did
Oh,
that
okay.
when I was
Yeah.
little. Like the fur, they took us in the fur thing. It was dark and kind
The fur
of
thing.
smoky.
And do they show you the cow? Does the cow walk in?
No.
I saw a cow when I was
Get
there.
out.
Is that you just remember?
Maybe
that?
it's a different field trip.
Oh. Okay. Well, I've definitely been there, but
Yeah,
No
it's a
cows.
place we all know and love. So now we're going to talk about how scary and spooky it is.
I'm like
Yeah.
really stoked because I had no idea that all 3 of our stories were going to be about Fort Vancouver. So.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, this
All right.
whole
Mine has a
episode
little
is-
asterisk on it.
Oh, that's true.
Because
It's in
it's-
the general.
It's
vicinity.
related,
It is related.
and it's close
It is close.
physically.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go first.
Okay.
Because, so, just a little... Of course, I went to my favorite website, hauntedhouses.com.
Oh my god.
And so they had some interesting, little tidbits of information. So obviously, Fort Vancouver was a fur trading fort.
Right.
So, and Fort Vancouver is considered to be one of the most historically significant sites in the Pacific Northwest. And they've had 50 years of archaeological excavations that have produced 1.5 million artifacts.
1.5 million
1.5
artifacts. Like of what? What are we
I
talking
don't know.
here?
That's why
What?
I'm like, where is the 1.5 million things?
What constitutes an artifact? Is it
like,
like
a piece of cloth or something? Or?
Yeah. I didn't really look into that because I was just so astounded by the 1.5 million.
that is really high, considering it's not that big? Like,
Yeah,
think
it's not.
about it.
It's not a large. Well, I guess if you're talking inside the fort, that's not that big.
Right.
But like the grounds, right? Maybe
Yeah,
it's-
maybe.
like with
yeah.
Officers Row and stuff like that.
Funny you should mention. I did my my little bit on Officers Row. So I've been there lots of times. I've taken pictures there, senior pictures, and I got my senior pictures taken there.
Have you been
it's just
inside?
a really lovely. But yeah,
You've been inside?
uh-huh.
What's
They
it
have a
like?
restaurant. You can go in.
Yeah, is it
Oh.
Grant House, Marshall House, or
Yeah,
something like
yeah.
that? One of those two.
It's
That's cool.
very. It's creaky. It's creaky. So I could 100% believe that there's some entities. So, Officers Row is just the row of houses that, officers would live in. Wow. So they were built to house families of soldiers and officers stationed at the Vancouver fort. And so but over the years, the houses got dilapidated and old, and nobody really took care of them. So they did renovations, and that's when they were like,
What's going on here?
what's happening? Because when the renovation started, that's when they started noticing the spookies.
The apparitions.
Yes. So, what this wonderful website says is that they think like I was saying, when the buildings were renovated, the entities that attached themselves became active. So they said either they loved that they were getting a home makeover, or they hated that they were being disturbed.
Ooh.
So we don't know. And of course, there's just a laundry list of all the examples of the scariness that went on. So, they residents, because there's some private homes too. So the residents reported feeling unexplained cold spots. They've heard footsteps. They're being touched by unseen hands. Doors, were being opened and closed. Unplugged telephones would ring.
Get out.
By themselves.
Get out. Probably rotary phones too.
You right?
Oh my
That's
god!
so
And there's
creepy.
nothing scarier than a rotary phone.
Right.
Is there?
Should we do
No.
like a...
There's not one right there. Guys, you can't see this, but there is a legit rotary phone.
Okay.
That's unplugged right now.
Okay, picture you're in
In the
your
studio.
you're in the mansion or whatever. You're in the
Yeah.
officer's row house. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not a
Okay. So what's happening is we thought it was rotary, but it's like one of those new rotaries where you just press
It's very
the button.
misleading.
It's misleading. It looks
Yeah.
like you do the
I thought we were supposed to go do it, and
Oh,
then it's just
yeah.
a...
Oh, that.
This is like some ASMR.
Oh. God.
Wow. Well,
Okay.
that was kind of
That's
disappointing.
disappointing.
Well, anyways,
the
so how scary is that? Okay, and then
That is very scary.
my favorite, the last thing on the list, or one of the last, was the entities loved their coffee.
Oh.
So they helped themselves to any freshly made, sometimes before letting the living
Hold up.
Wait,
have
hold
a
on.
chance.
They would
So-
drink. They would drink.
The coffee.
How is that proven? Like,
Yeah.
like
let's-
coffee would just be floating in the air. It's like-
Wow.
Yeah, they love their coffee.
Interesting.
Mm. So then the article kind of ends, and then they talk about, how the private owners ask, ghost hunters respect their privacy.
Yeah.
And then the last sentence. On Saturday, Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday, blood drips from the walls.
Blood.
And the grass keeps dying.
Okay.
What?
Wait.
Back.
Hold on.
Is
can
that-
you read the first part again? On a
Okay.
Sunday, Monday. Literally, they listed 4 days
Yeah.
that this happens on.
Uh-huh.
Wait.
Like in general.
Is it Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday?
Saturday, Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday.
Saturday, Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday? Any of those days, there's blood dripping from the walls, and the grass dies.
Yeah.
What a way to start your day.
Yeah.
Just waking
With
up to
some
blood.
dripping on
Yeah.
the walls.
Like, why'd they just throw that in the
That's a
last...
curveball.
That is a huge curveball I was
Yeah.
not expecting.
You'd have to plan your weekly routine around that.
Yeah,
Like,
I know. You'd be ready for
Gotta
cleaning
get
up
new
blood.
grass every Monday,
Yeah.
Wednesday, and Friday.
Yeah. Holy
That's
cow.
Oh.
So they just really threw me off with that.
Spooky.
That's- I like how that's like the last thing, like just kind of like at the end. Oh yeah, by the way, blood drips from the walls.
Blood drips from the walls. But like coffee disappearing is way scarier
Yeah.
than blood.
Gotta love haunted houses.
Oh my god.
That's great.
Insane.
Also, you can visit the fort Tuesday through Saturday from 9 to 5.
I just think those are the days there's no blood. Yeah, we're good. Okay, cool.
So no overlapping blood days. I have no interest in going if there's.
I want to see blood.
Yeah.
I'm interested in the blood
Dripping
dripping
from the walls.
Good God.
Inside or outside? Or both? Like, where does the blood...
It's got to be inside. That's a lot of blood. That's a lot of
for
wall.
enough for it to drip down a wall, that has to be a ton, for sure.
I wonder how many gallons of blood are in a human body. Anybody?
I feel like we're a Google search away.
Maybe that'll be a teaser for my next spooky fun fact.
Ooh,
next
a
week.
blood loss fact.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So yeah, that's all I have. Just
right.
pretty spooky stuff going on over there.
So I'll get mine out of the way since I usually go after you. So mine is about the house that's in Essershort Park, which is in downtown Vancouver. So it's called the Slocum House.
God, terrifying name. Honestly, terrifying. What is it? One more time?
Slocum.
Oh my God.
So it's named after the man who built it, Charles W. Slocum. So Charles migrated from, I think it was like New York or something like that,
Okay.
like New England, somewhere in there. And so he came out west. I don't know if he was like Oregon Trail or what, but he came out west, and he actually, this is kind of interesting, he mapped out the city of Boise.
Oh, like
yeah, like he was the original like city planner.
City
of Boise.
planner for Boise.
Yeah,
it's planned well. Lived there for a
I
year.
was gonna ask you. Yeah,
the downtown, the streets, they're wide, which I really appreciate.
That's great.
It's ready for growth. Anyways, sorry, that's kind of
no, it's great. So yeah, he did that, and then he also, and this is how it ties to the fort. He was a carpenter.
Okay.
At Fort Vancouver.
And what year was this again?
So the house was built somewhere between 1867 and 77.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, okay.
And there have been renovations, which will
Yeah.
So there's a full-time caretaker that lives in this house, which is
Alive?
interesting. Yeah, alive. I mean, both, maybe.
Ooh.
We
Yeah.
actually don't know.
Yeah, it could be
Who's
dead.
to say?
Yeah. So the caretaker lives in this house full-time. Apparently there's two of them, I guess, that at one point lived, and their brother and sister who lived there in 2000.
It's kind of weird.
Which is kind of interesting. But,
Yeah.
So, little backstory on the house. So it was just, like, this dude's house for a while, and then it turned into, like, a historical building that was going to get torn down, but this theater group came in and was like, hey, you shouldn't tear that down. And now there are plays in the building.
Like, currently still?
Yeah, plays are there.
Okay, that's on my list now.
I didn't
And
know
they're
that.
children's plays, which
Oh.
is interesting. So Mrs.
Okay.
Slocum,
Kind of makes it spooky. All right.
Charles Slocum's wife, apparently couldn't have children, and that was like her biggest desire in life was to have children, and she died without having a child.
She was barren.
And so apparently people can see apparitions of her when children are having their plays, and she's silently watching children.
Oh my god.
Play.
Ooh.
I
Isn't
can't do
it-
this. This is scary.
And like
Continue. I
whenever
like this.
a child like goes into the house, people think like she like comes out.
Oh no.
They sense a presence, and sometimes they see her.
Oh my god.
Isn't that like just the fact that it's like about children is just
There's
10
something
times
about
creepier.
children that makes it creepy and
Yeah.
scary.
Yeah, children
Yeah.
are creepy.
They're terrifying. Absolutely. Anyways.
So that's kind of a creepy one, but also, so a caretaker reports that he cannot, and this is kind of funny, he cannot keep things on his fridge
Oh.
because it will get knocked down.
Like magnets or something, or
Like
paper.
on top.
On top.
Oh,
Like,
on top of his
So like he'll
fridge.
put his cereal on top, and then like he'll walk out of the room, and then he'll walk back in, and it's like on the ground.
Ooh.
And he can't, like it
Wow.
won't stay there. Like everything he puts on there will get knocked off.
Unbelievable.
Which is kind of weird to me. Like, why would a ghost care?
Oh yeah, why on top of the fridge?
Yeah. But maybe it's a draft. Who knows?
I mean, a draft that's like blowing like a 3-pound box of cereal. I mean, I don't know. Crazier things have happened
Yeah.
for sure.
So there are two main stories that have been reported, and these are like the big ones. And they both happened in spring of 2000.
Okay.
So the male caretaker, I don't know his name, was taking a bath with the door open.
As one does.
What?
Yeah.
Normal
Yeah.
thing to do.
As you know, people do in a house that anyone can walk into at any time.
Yeah, because at that point, was it open to the public?
Yeah.
What? Okay.
So
Red flag.
he's taking a bath with the door open,
Yeah.
and across the hallway is the women's costume room, like for the plays.
Sure.
And whatnot, all the costumes are in there for the women. And he looks in there, and he sees what he thinks is a curtain just moving around. And he's like, that's kind of weird. Like, he's never been in there because it's the women's costume room.
Sure.
Right? So he doesn't really know, but he's like, oh, that's kind of weird. So he just goes back to his bath, and then he tells his sister, Rebecca, and she's like, yeah, there are no windows in there, and there are no curtains. So, like,
Whoa.
I don't know what that was, but it could have been Mrs. Slocum moving around all the clothes and stuff that were hanging on the wall.
That's so. Oh, that's.
And you know what's creepy to me is that he's like fully just like taking a bath, and there could have been a ghost, like literally right there. You know, just watching him.
I know this is kind of weird, but I wonder if it's a clawfoot tub. Do you think it's a clawfoot?
I feel like it's one of
100%.
those.
It's got to be a clawfoot.
It's got to be.
I don't know.
It adds to the creepiness for sure.
It does.
The clawfoot.
And just to kind of not to interrupt, but I did not know this place existed until like maybe 2 or 3 years ago.
Oh, really?
Like yeah, because It's kind of like it kind of blends in with Esther Short. You kind of miss it.
It's like in the corner.
Yeah, if you just hang out in Esther Short Park, like I guarantee, most Vancouver people, Vancouverites, Vancouvians, yeah, Couvs. I bet you a lot of them don't even know it's there. I did not know. I've been to Esther Short a ton of times. And then we went in that one time.
Right, and we talked to them.
And we talked to were those the caretakers?
I think that those people that we talked to could be the same that are... Yeah. I mean, that was almost 20 years ago, so who knows, but...
They do art shows there, too.
Yeah,
so that's why we were there. We were there, like, looking at art. I think it was on a Saturday for... like, Vancouver Farmers Market or something.
Yeah.
Because it's right there. It's right around there.
Yeah.
Spooky.
Yeah, that's one thing. You can just walk right in if you have an interest. And I think, did we ask them if it was haunted?
I think we did. I think Ian was really... I think Ian knew a lot about it, right? So he was kind of leading off on that.
That's how I heard about this.
Okay.
Is from either Ian or going when we went on that trip. Yeah.
Spooky.
It is spooky. So a few months later, the same sister, she was looking for shoes and purses as props for plays in the basement. And... what's interesting about the basement is that it wasn't original. It's not an original thing that was there.
Oh.
But this is, like, the location of the next, like, haunting appearance.
Okay.
Which I thought was a little...
That's
I don't know. Like, things didn't really connect there.
Wait, so the basement is not original to the home?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they built a basement and put the house on top of it?
I guess so.
How do you build a basement?
That's just what the article said, is that the basement is, like, a new thing. Probably from around like the 60s.
And the hauntings are happening down in the basement now?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Well, guaranteed. Yeah. Basements are haunted.
Yeah, so she's down there, she's looking for these shoes and purses, like, in the clutter of the basement. And out of the corner of her eye, she sees something move.
Oh, no.
And then she looks and she's like, oh, there's nothing there, like, whatever. So she goes back. And then she sees something move somewhere else. And she's like, okay, this is really weird.
Get out, lady.
And so she looks and then nothing's there. And so she's like, okay, that's... like, she has a weird vibe now. And then she doesn't find what she's looking for. So she goes into another room of the basement. She flicks on the lights. There's a full apparition of a figure, of a dark figure standing. And then, like, as soon as she, like, looks at it, it runs away.
Oh, my God.
I'm, like...
light a match, burn the whole place down. History be gone. Like, burn it. Holy cow.
Yeah, they needed, like, sage or something.
I know.
Sage it.
Yeah.
For real.
Sage it up. That's scary.
Yeah.
I'm curious, was there any explanation, like, not explanation, but did they kind of say what the person or the apparition looked like? Did they describe it?
It just said a dark figure.
Oh, my God. That's even worse than like, that's actually worse. Dark
like,
figure?
If it was, like, a woman in, like, a dress.
A woman in a red dress. It's like, okay. Dark figure?
Absolutely not.
Could be anything.
Satan.
Yeah.
Demons.
See, now when I go home, I have a long hallway.
Get out.
I was going to flick the freaking light on.
I
and
hate
then I'm
long
gonna be like,
hallways.
oh, perfect. And my room's at the end of the hallway, so it's not like I can not go down the dark, scary hallway.
Yeah. So,
That's what I'll be seeing.
You're welcome for
thanks for
putting
that
in
image.
But
yikes.
Another thing that's crazy is that when it ran away, it hid behind furniture.
No.
Whoa!
No, that's not allowed.
She was too scared to go look.
Dude.
But from...
she should have left the first sighting.
God.
So she was like, I'm not going over there. But she said that from where she was, she could tell that nothing was actually behind there anymore. Like, it just disappeared once it hid behind the furniture.
So she saw it move to hide somewhere?
Yeah.
Like, that's weird.
So, like, as soon as she looked directly at it, it ran away and hid behind furniture.
Oh, my God.
And then after it was behind the furniture, I guess it just went away.
Dude.
Could be anyone.
That is terrifying. That really is really scary. I
know.
The fact that she saw it for so long. Like, she watched it run away. Usually you just, like, see, like, flashes. Or
right.
I'd be out. I'd be out so fast. Like, I don't really feel like I'm a fraidy cat, but I'm not into that.
Right.
That's really scary.
And that, I was going to ask you guys, like, if knowing what you know, would you be a caretaker of the Slocum house?
Absolutely not.
Okay, I lived in a house that is 100 years old.
Yeah.
A couple years ago, I was renting a room from my very dear friends, and I was renting a room, and they live in downtown Vancouver, and I lived in a room with them. or not with them, but I lived in their house and rented a room. And it had a really, really sketchy attic that has like wallpaper that's been like torn away. Do you remember going
I
up there?
remember this.
Yeah, because I stored stuff up there. And then it had a really sketchy basement with a tunnel. So, a tunnel. Yeah. Boo. Scary. But all that to say, when the house was empty, very, very scary, very, very eerie all the time. Had to turn all the lights on.
Yeah.
Where normally, like in my new house now, when I'm home alone, no big deal. When I was growing up, no big deal being home alone. But there's something about a 100-year-old house. And this house is way older than 100 years old, right?
Yeah.
It's like, what, 150 years old.
Yeah.
Extra spooks, really, at that point.
50 years extra.
50 years. So, I couldn't do it, honest.
Yeah.
The fact that I couldn't even be in a house that I knew was fine and was furnished modernly and too spooky.
See, I'm kind of like the same way where I like the idea of living like in an old like antique house.
Yeah, because they're cool.
But I've stayed in them overnight. And it's just like, it's scary. It's just like, it's scary without even like anything happening.
Absolutely. Hearing a creak.
Yes.
Hearing a creak or some
No,
noise.
right?
Terrifying.
Yeah. It's creepy.
Wow.
But yeah, that's what I got.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yikes. Okay, so moving on to...
What do you got?
We're staying with Fort Vancouver. We are moving from Esther Short now to the other side of I-5, where we've got the Fort Vancouver Post Hospital, Barracks Post Hospital.
Oh, no.
So...
My guy worked there too.
Get out.
Yeah.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
They said specifically that he worked at the barracks, which I didn't know that the hospital was called the barracks.
Yeah. Okay. So, first off, I want to say, if you live around Vancouver, definitely do a drive-by from this place, because if you do, I guarantee instant goosebumps, instant spooky.
And you can see it on I-5.
From I-5.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you're heading southbound or northbound, just if you're heading south towards Portland, about maybe 3/4 of a mile before the bridge, it's on. If you're heading south, it's on your left. And it's this big brick building. So I want to describe it to you because the thought of this building, describing what it looks like, is helpful for when you're hearing the story. So it was built in 1884, so around the same time as kind of our other pieces that we're talking about. It is a large brick building. That's the middle portion is brick, and then it has two wings that are they have windows, so you can see directly in.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the cool thing about this is you can see directly to the ghosts. They have big windows, and I read, I researched and found that the design was specific for. There's something about the windows and the angle that the windows were placed that helped reduce bacteria, was thought to reduce bacteria from tuberculosis. So that was the thinking of like, oh, we'll just window all this stuff.
Okay.
So from the street, you can drive right up to this thing if you go to the front of it, and you can walk on the lawn and look right in, and you can see into the rooms, into the patient rooms.
Yeah.
So the middle portion is like, it's an old, it's an old brick building, and then it has two wings. And it also has another brick building on the side that was moved because it was in the way of I-5, and they moved it in the 1970s. Anyways, so first off, looks super scary. It has 4 floors. I'm going to list the floors off because it's very important. Very, very important. Okay. So first off, there
Josh,
is... Yes,
Does this connect to our story? Like, because...
It sure does.
Okay, all right.
It sure does.
Okay.
Whoa.
So the basement was used as a morgue / drainage of blood from operating rooms. So this room was collecting blood.
Hey,
and
maybe from the walls.
And
Whoa, okay.
yeah, it could have been from the walls.
Yeah.
So there's piping, which still exists today. The piping from the operating theaters, which is funny to think about, the operating theaters down into this morgue area. So that's the basement. And the basement does have, like, there's little vents that are up above that you could see down into the basement if you got close enough, if you're brave. The main 2 floors were patient rooms, operating rooms, and just general offices. And then the top floor was a mental ward.
Oh.
Mental ward, guys. So we've got a sandwich of spooky. We've got a sandwich of spooky.
That's like all
It's all the things.
Yeah.
So, and back then, when this was really in use, because it's not in use currently, obviously, but it was still common practice when someone would break a bone, you would amputate. Down in the morgue, we've got body parts all over the place.
Would they just shoot the limb down the laundry
like a laundry chute?
I think they have a limb chute. Yeah, they had a limb chute. That's actually not true. I don't know. It could have been. I mean, I think that's more efficient than carrying it. But anyway, and it was also common practice. Okay. It was common back then, and this is going to tie into my segment later.
Okay.
But it was common during this time that they would not wash their hands before surgery. Like, this was before our deep understanding about bacteria.
Even before surgery?
Even before surgery, Gabe. This guy could be, like, in the field shoveling, like, manure and then come and operate on your spleen.
Do they not just think,
That's a nightmare.
Dirty. No, because they yeah, I guess not. So anyways, in its heyday, there was obviously many crude methods of medicine being used. Like, I mean, if you break your leg, you don't need it amputate it off, you know.
Right.
It was used during war times, as well as for Fort Vancouver, because Fort Vancouver, was a very active place, and I'm sure there were people that came in with injuries.
Right.
So, and at one point, this was interesting. At one point, the post hospital was among the busiest army hospitals in the country.
No
in
way.
1918, thanks to the Spanish flu, influenza, and there was 21,000 patients, which to me is like, that couldn't have been at one time, because this building,
it's not very
like
big.
This is not a humongous building.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that's not all at once, but it said it was one of the most busy hospital. Anyways, it stood empty since the 1990s and was last used for office space by the Army, and that I will talk about a little bit later. So bookmark that it was last used for office space for the Army. So, as we're talking about scary stories, talking about spooky things and ghosts and stuff, I always just I approach it with a sense of skepticism, being like, did this really happen? Is this really true?
Yeah.
The things I'm about to read you, I just know from the bottom of my heart that there's no way that this stuff is coincidence. I don't know whether it be ghosts or an evil spirit, whatever you want to call it, something's happening. So I researched a couple online forums and blogs, and also the Columbian.
Okay.
And I kind of broke my witness accounts into three categories. So the first one, there are people that like maintain it. They're like civilian employees, pretty much, that are like volunteering their time.
Some like historical society.
Yeah. So one of the main kind of spooky things that I heard from their accounts was the doors would keep unlocking. The front door would keep unlocking.
The front door?
The front door. And so they would lock the
get
front
out.
door, and then the next day, the door was unlocked. And so what the employee did was they did a tape seal. They taped over the door. And
oh my god.
and they would lock the door. They'd tape over the lock and everything. And then the next morning, the tape was still there. Door was unlocked.
Oh my god.
So, like, how? That's what I want to know. Also, it seemed like the basement, which, no-brainer, basement seemed to be the focus of the most strange happenings in the building, which is where the morgue was and where all the blood was going. A lot of strange things were heard down there, and in 1993, a woman came from Texas to investigate the basement, which I want to know how you sign up for that. Like, who do you call? Like, hey, I want to just come hang out in this building.
She an expert or something?
I mean, I think she was a ghost hunter.
We should try that.
I guess. So it says she came in there in 93, and she left after 3 hours after being chased aggressively by a ghost.
Oh my God.
This will come back later. So
She was chased?
put a pin. Like, this
Like-
story gets so connected.
Full, like, apparition is, like, running at her.
That's what I imagined.
What?
It was the blog I was reading and the account of her I was reading was
Yeah.
not very specific. But
Okay.
anyways, so from a different perspective, there was a group, 3 people, a guy's wife named Janine, and his friend Brian, I actually don't know the gentleman's name, but anyways, he was writing this account. They decided to do an overnighter.
Good idea.
In
really,
the hospital.
you know.
Just really check it out. So they decide to do an overnight observation. So they get there around 6:45 on a Friday night, and they came with sleeping bags, food, and a camcorder. So this is really old camcorder, right? So around 10:30, they moved down to the basement. Which, guys, like, stop. Please turn around and go home. Go home. At that time, it was slightly converted into storage and offices, and they observed the pipes from the operating rooms where the blood would drain to the waiting tanks and all that stuff. Anyways, they also saw some autopsy rooms. Oh my God! So around 11:30, they decided to sleep. They're like, "All right, let's go to bed."
Okay.
At 2:15, which is really close to witch's hour, if you're familiar with that, they were awakened by a squeaking noise. So they all sit up, and they see a table that they were sleeping next to. A table is like squeaking and vibrating, and they like played it really cool. The guy was like, "The table's shaking," and they both looked at each other, and neither of them were near it. So who knows? Could have been I-5. Vibrate, like the cars were causing vibration. What?
Did they pick up the camcorder and get some?
So the camcorder comes in later, but they did not get. There's no footage. So this is why you want to be skeptical. But this guy's account, a lot of his stuff was very skeptical. Like, this could just be coincidence. Anyways, that's the first thing that they noticed. Second thing, there's a bathroom upstairs, and one of them went to use the restroom, and he said, as human nature, I opened up all of the bathroom stalls before using one. When you're in a haunted hospital, you want to open up. Yeah. And he thought it was strange that that 3 of the toilets had their lids and seats up. It's like, okay, well, that's kind of weird that their lids and their seats are up. So he put them all down, used the toilet, and then flushed it and went back downstairs. And he mentioned it to his wife and his friend in passing, like, "Oh, it's kind of weird. The all the toilet seats were up and everything, but I closed them." So he mentioned it to him.
Okay.
After about an hour, this guy's friend Brian, Brian, goes upstairs to use the bathroom.
Yeah.
And according to this account, he noticed that 2 out of the 3 lids were up now.
Ooh.
There's 3 people, guys, in this, and they were all together.
Yeah.
So, guy goes up, closes all the lids.
Yeah.
Flushes the toilet, and then an hour goes by, guy comes up, they're open.
That's great, because
pretty terrifying.
Because it's like up, it can't just like fall down. Like, it can't fall like up, but like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It can't. It wouldn't have fallen.
Someone would have to do that, or something.
Anyways, super scary. And then this is where the camcorder comes in. So they left the camcorder in a room. So that's where it was. It wasn't with them. They left it in a room, and they sealed up the windows and stuff to like make sure no one got in or whatever and tampered. But what they, after watching the footage and listening to the footage, they didn't see anything, but what they heard, this freaks me out.
Oh.
They heard what sounded like footsteps and a man's cough, which, guys, were in a hospital, so cough is a normal, and TB, tuberculosis. The sounds get louder and more frequent as time goes on, reaching a peak with a loud series of bangs, and then tapering off and ending. The entire sequence took over a 17-minute period after they started recording.
That is crazy.
This room was separate from the room that
This
they were
was
staying
a room
in.
that was separate.
So
So
it's not like it was one of them like coughing at night.
no, it was upstairs, and they were down, and they were in the basement.
Oh.
In the like, you're talking 2 or 3 floors in between,
Yeah.
and these are brick, heavy materials. This is not
so
paper thin walls here.
What floor was the coughing on?
It said the second floor, or second floor, second main floor. So it'd technically be the 3rd floor if you were counting the basement as a floor.
Because I was gonna say, if it's a top floor.
Oh, don't even. Okay, so that's it from the blog. And then, here are some friend experiences. So I have a coworker who is a teacher that I teach with at the school. And she actually was in the military in the 90s. And she had office space there at the post hospital. And so she was able to tell me some things that she noticed, which will kind of tie into the stuff we've read or heard from in the past. So she told me that when she worked there, the windows would open after hours with no one in there. Windows would open, which the whole building is pretty much windows.
Right.
The front door would be unlocked, and they would do the same thing with the tape, and the tape would be unbroken. Whenever there was a small group there, like a group of 3 like us right now, they would feel like something's in the room watching them.
Oh, we have to go.
No.
I want to go so bad.
Hey, if the door unlocks, you just walk right in.
They apparently were not allowed in the basement. That was a no-go zone.
That feels like a red flag.
Pretty suspect.
Yeah.
Like here, don't go in this whole half. That's crazy.
Even though you're like paying
for space. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there was other eerie details, like they left the privacy rods and stuff on the ceiling. So there was stuff from when it was actually being used. It was scary. Okay, and I'm almost done here. Now this is when it gets a little creepy. So
more.
Yeah, guys, it just goes on and on. It goes on and on. So, I have 2 friends. I'm going to leave their names out of this because they did something bad. They did something wrong here. But it's worth it. So, they lived around the area. They live in downtown Vancouver. I know them from church. And when about 10 years ago, when we were in high school, they broke in to the hospital at night.
Ooh.
Oh.
These boys are crazy. They broke in at night, and guess where they broke in? They broke in through the basement.
Did they go through the little...
They went through the vents, because if you go and see, there are vents that are maybe 2 feet, 1.5 feet tall, and they look really flimsy. So I'm assuming that they pushed their way through one, they dropped down into the basement, and oh my God. So they walked through the basement and upstairs for a small amount of time.
Okay.
And then they had to escape quickly as they heard... Guys,
No.
I can't do this right now. I am getting, goosebumps. They heard muffled screams from upstairs where the mental ward was. They also heard bangs and thuds.
Oh, my God.
Muffled screams.
Ew.
That is insane.
Okay, that is huge.
Can you imagine...
I don't know why they did any of this. This is terrible.
We've seen this building so many times. It's so creepy.
Yeah.
Going inside for the first time and hearing screams, I would lose it.
Oh, yeah. So that actually really leads nicely into my last experience that I want to talk about this place.
Right.
Is my own experience, and Gabe was there, part of it, along with a couple of our friends.
Yeah.
We've gone and done a drive-by from this of this place, this hospital, several times. And every time we do, we will park our car, because you can literally drive right up to it. So we'd park our car, and we could either sit and just look at it through the windows, because you can see through the windows, or we could stand.
Yeah.
We can't even. We try to dare people to touch the door. We can hardly do it.
I think we've gone up to the porch once.
Yeah, and it's terrifying because you don't know, because you can see into the building and you don't know what's coming out at you.
Yeah.
So, anyways, it's probably 11 o'clock at night, cold November night like tonight.
So wait, you went at night?
We went at night.
Okay.
Yeah.
So strike
Always.
one.
Yeah.
That was the detail
Yeah.
that I was missing.
Strike one.
Yeah.
So we're out there, we're having a good time. I think we had gone to Salt and Straw or Voodoo Donuts before, and we were just eating and hanging out outside, and we
and this was common. We used to do this all the time.
Yeah, we've probably done it 10 times
Yeah.
or more. And we sat out in front of the hospital, and we were just looking and checking it out, and I'm looking in the top windows.
Oh my God!
I know, Gabe's
I
getting
remember seeing
so
it.
scared right now because you saw it. Were we the only two?
I know. I mean, it was me, you, and Seth.
Oh yeah,
outside,
I think it was us three.
Yeah.
So we're looking up. We're outside, and in that window, you can see into these rooms. You can see into the patient rooms. It's pitch black.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, humongous flash of blue light. Blue light. Guys, I am not making it up. Gabe is not making it up.
Everyone saw it at the same time, did not say anything, and we booked it to the car.
Bright flash, freaked out.
Yeah.
Have no idea what it means.
Yeah.
We've gone back several times. It wasn't like something from I-5 because it was on our side of the building where I-5, there's building in between there.
So it wasn't like a reflection.
It wasn't a reflection. It was in the room. We saw the room illuminate.
Oh my god.
The room illuminated, and there's no power. Like, they're not running power in there because no one uses the building anymore. It's vacant. Oh. So, anyways, sorry that was super long, but
that was awesome.
I just have to say, if they ever do tours, I'm going. I have to.
I feel I feel the same way.
It's a personal kind of victory. I think we have to overcome our fears and go in that building.
Someday I need to. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, sure,
you're right.
And I read that they're trying to convert the space into art space.
Oh, perfect. Maybe put some plays in there. Children's plays.
Children's plays. Yeah, they need some children's plays. Children art classes in there.
Oh yeah.
So all in all, very, very scary.
It's just scary to look at. Like, even not knowing all of that, it's a creepy vibe.
Yeah, you don't walk up to this building and be like, oh man, this place looks inviting. It's scary. Yeah, it's definitely scary. So yeah, that was my.
Man, that's great. That's so
my
spooky.
Vancouver is a spooky place, guys.
Yeah, the whole Northwest, honestly, there's something about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, as I'm trying to, process that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So I guess we're just going to jump right into our last segments.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
That was a great story.
Thank you.
Very good storytelling, for sure.
Thank you.
Honestly.
I felt like I was there.
Did you feel like you were there?
I'm scared. Like, genuinely, I'm so scared.
Probably the scariest thing on the show for me so far. Like, honestly.
For real?
Yeah, that was so scary.
That is great.
And maybe it's because I've been there. Maybe that's what
it
is.
You
feels a little more real.
Personal,
yeah.
So at the end of the show, we get to have segments.
Right.
So, my segments, are something like environmental. So I'm just gonna jump right in.
You know what we call that? We call that crunchy. It's kind of crunchy, like granola. Have you ever heard that phrase?
No.
Has anyone called you crunchy before?
No.
I don't know.
You guys haven't heard that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're kind of crunchy. For real?
Like granola? Like
granola!
That's pretty funny.
Yeah!
Is that what the kids are saying these days?
Yeah, is this new?
Is it like, but it's like young. You're
yeah, like middle school age.
Mainly,
so that's the middle school kids.
You know what? I've not heard one say it, but sure. Sorry, continue.
Anyways, okay, so remember last week how it took us, on a journey through the future of what would happen, or what is going to happen because of climate change. So, I talked about how there's going to be, sea level rise and flooding and, record-breaking storms. Well, what do you know? There is this island in Hawaii that has disappeared.
Get out. What do you mean an island?
What is it?
There is an island. It's called
Maui?
East... No, it's East Island.
Yeah, Maui's gone.
It's East Island. It's 550 miles northwest of Oahu.
Okay.
So when you look on the map, it's like on the...
Like...
It's small.
Yeah.
It's a small island.
Is it like... Is it inhabited at all?
No.
Okay.
No, it's not that big. Like, to have residents or anything.
Okay.
So, but it is a haven for endangered species and stuff like that. So, it's not there anymore because it was wiped out by a record-breaking hurricane.
Wow.
So they're kind of worried because the endangered turtles and there's the turtles and the seals. Yeah, the
How many miles?
Hawaiian monk seals. 550 miles.
So that's like a long swim for a turtle,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. Gabe?
So.
Do you know? Okay.
I don't know.
So the Hawaiian monk seal is a critically endangered species, and so is the green sea turtles. So they use this place as kind of like a haven for it, and to research and like kind of a safe place away from humans and away because nobody actually inhabits it, like I said. So it's like a research type of area.
Yeah.
But now it's completely underwater.
Mm. Oh, because of rising sea levels.
It's rising sea levels, and because this hurricane just literally came and brought all this water over there. So now the turtles don't have anywhere to go and nest, and neither do the seals to have pups and stuff.
Can I ask an ignorant question?
Yes.
Okay. So, and you might not know the answer to this, but when there's a hurricane, does it displace water to other... I'm not sure how that works.
So,
can you maybe explain to me?
So, I mean...
I'm just a PE teacher. I'm not very smart.
I kind of know how hurricanes work, but it's hard to, for me to explain it. But
okay.
It does,
It displaces water.
Well, it picks up the warm water. So, since the, water's getting warmer, it's able to pick up more.
Got it.
And so then it...
Oh.
hurries.
If you can't see Emily, she is literally scooting her body across like an imaginary ocean.
Yes.
Yes.
So
okay.
it can take that.
Okay.
Okay.
You answered, so yes.
I would say.
Okay.
I'm not a scientist either, but that's how I'm picturing the hurricanes to work.
Okay, great.
So, also, So, the island's completely gone, and shout out to my friend Mary, who's also learning about this stuff with me.
What's up, Mary?
She's listening. So, we talked about that.
Okay.
So I have a question.
Yes.
What can we do? What can we do to help?
Well, to circle back to Josh's week, you can use reusable bags.
Nice.
You could just open a conversation with your family and friends, because people still don't believe, which is, I don't even want to talk
crazy.
about it. I don't even want to give that any
Yeah, let's just move on.
So you can reduce how long your showers are, just eating less red meat, like I talked about before.
Right. Yeah.
You don't have to live this drastic lifestyle that you changed.
I'm just feeling really convicted because the shower in my house, in my bathroom, it has 2 shower heads.
And you don't use them.
And I use both of them.
Oh.
Because they both hit you from the side, and it feels like you're in a waterfall.
Well, how
nice.
long do you take your showers?
No longer than 30 minutes. No, legit, like 6 minutes.
Okay, well that's fine.
6 or 7 minutes.
6 is good.
Yeah, I mean I'm in and out. Anyways.
Okay. So just
Sorry.
Implementing small things into your lifestyle that may be inconvenient to you.
Right.
But it
goes a long way.
But imagine the turtles.
Imagine turtle. I'm a turtle.
Don't even get me
killer.
started on plastic straws.
Oh yeah.
But that's
I never use a straw.
Good.
All right.
Anyways.
Okay, so my spooky fun fact.
Oh my god.
So I don't know.
Let's do it.
How it keeps happening, but penises just make their way into my spooky
Get
fun fact.
Oh my god.
Okay, so apparently, this spooky fun fact has a title, which is Two-Butted Nightmares from the Deep, which is referencing the blind cusk eel, which is found was found in an expedition in Australia's eastern abyss. So apparently researchers were looking down into this abyss and gazing back at them was this fish with 2 butts.
They really painted a picture for us.
Which I didn't even know that fish could have any butts at all.
I thought they had a cloaca.
I don't know.
Oh my god.
I don't know, but they have 2 butts and it looks a lot like a penis. So
can we put a link to that on the Instagram or something?
Put up a
yeah,
pic.
you really can't describe it any other way.
Yeah. We
But
can see it in the studio and it looks it's translucent.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. It's an
yeah.
interesting texture.
So that's my thing. Blind cusk eel. Look it up.
Gazes.
Calling someone a blind cusk eel, I would be
Ouch.
very offended if someone said that. I'd be like, whoa. Didn't have to say that.
Cusk just sounds like...
It sounds bad.
Yeah.
It sounds mean.
Like it's a fish that looks like a penis.
Of course.
Just
Yeah.
from the name.
With 2 butts.
Right.
Okay. My segment. I could not decide between... I kind of have 2 things. So being a teacher, I hear a lot of funny things, and I need to start writing them down because I have a terrible working memory. So I was able to remember a couple for half of my segment, and it's called Kids Say the Darndest Things.
So great.
This was something I overheard in the hallway.
Okay.
One kid said to another, "You smell like psoriasis." So first off, this is like a 6th grader. How do they know what psoriasis is, and does psoriasis have a smell? That's my question. Okay.
It definitely doesn't.
It doesn't. There's
But you
no
kind of
way.
know what he's talking about.
Sorry, if anyone's listening with psoriasis, I hope you get the help
Yeah.
that you deserve. Okay. And then in PE, this was last year, we were doing like a little bit of a dancing unit.
Okay.
And a kid said that they can't dance because they legit pass out. He told us that they pass out.
Like they go too hard, or is it just like...
So that's the thing, is like, do they pass out from how good they are?
Or because they're so nervous?
Or they're so nervous. Time will tell.
I'm betting on how good they are.
Yeah.
I feel like a sixth grader would have just really high
go
confidence.
too hard and just pass out. So that's my first half of my segment. My second half of my segment is called Germaphobe Confessions, brought to you by Purell. So I am a germaphobe, and I prefer the term germ conscious. Yes, and it's funny that I work in a middle school, which is a germ factory with germ buckets.
In
gym.
the
Kids are puking, like it's
Sweaty.
all the time. There's sweat, boogers, it's all blood, it's all over. All the time. Blood is dripping from the walls. No. So I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of look into my crazy mind. This is something I'm working on. But anyways, these are some random facts about me that I do that hopefully won't cause vast judgments against me. Do you guys promise to not judge me?
I promise.
Okay, Emily said, but okay. I keep my toothbrush outside of my bathroom because of when you flush a toilet, like stuff flies around.
Okay.
And even though my toilet is very far away from my sink, and there's a separate door, I'm still not convinced.
Where do you keep it?
I keep it I have like a little like cabinet right on the other side of my bathroom door.
Oh, okay.
So I just keep it up there.
Did you close the lid?
Sure do, but I'm not convinced that that works.
Because I know some people who don't close the lid, and that kind
That's
of messes me
gross.
up. When you
That is
don't,
gross.
when you can't close the lid.
People don't think about this stuff.
You're right though. Germs
Only a
used to just
germ-conscious
fly out.
person.
Only Thank you.
Yeah, I'm on your side.
Knowledge is power. Okay. In public bathrooms, I always use my foot for opening doors, flushing toilets, occasionally turning on the sink if it's a nasty one.
Okay, I
Now,
don't do
that's
the
some
sink,
gymnastics right
but
there.
I do the toilet.
Flexibility. I always use the middle stall if I have to. Everyone goes for the ones on the edges. It's proven.
Oh,
Fact.
I didn't know that.
Always
That's
go for the middle.
smart.
Because everyone's like, oh, I don't want to go in the middle. Go for
Right,
the middle.
because you're gonna be next to a buddy.
It's going to be the cleaner one. Yeah, you're going to have a buddy, but it's going to be clean. I have once used Lysol wipes to wipe down my hand sanitizer bottle. That was embarrassing. I had a hard time writing that one down. Sometimes those get dirty.
Yeah.
And then finally, this is actually just a good pro tip. This is free. When I go to a gas station and pump my gas, I use a complimentary paper towel that they have for the windshield. I use that to grab the handle of the gas pump.
Oh, that's smart.
Don't they have mittens though? Some places.
Those mittens are a problem in and of themselves.
Yeah, I guess I need a mitten.
Probably germ shacks. Like
Yeah, a germ shack.
You're right. They probably nobody uses them. They just sit there and
Yeah, and I do reuse them. So
good.
yeah,
Good.
you're welcome for that.
Wow, this was
This has
a
been
great
fun.
time.
Yeah.
I had a
Thank
great
you so
time.
much
Yeah.
for joining us
Yeah,
today.
thank you.
Guys, this
Josh.
was so fun. I hope I can do it again. I hope I pass the test.
Yes.
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 This
Fine.
was
of course.
super, super fun. I
Yeah.
had a great time.
Yeah, let us
Yeah.
know, on Instagram or Twitter how Josh did.
Oh boy. Please be
Yeah,
kind.
we want reviews.
Yeah.
Be honest.
Yep.
Yeah, Creepin' It Real Pod on Instagram. Twitter is like Creepin' It R or something.
I don't know.
Yeah. Instagram's popping.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Instagram's popping. It's
Yeah.
the bop.
Go
Well,
on
thank you for
Instagram.
listening.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
I guess we'll see you next Wednesday.
Yeah.
So
All right. Have a good
I don't
night.
have a
Well,
an
I won't.
ending.
I'll miss you
Oh,
guys.
yeah.
Yeah. Until we see you again later on the pod, Josh.
Yeah, thank you. Do we need to do some like closeout music? or-
Yeah, start. Yeah, can you do some?
All right, Gabe, you want to start it?
All right. Bye, everybody.